What's up everybody, welcome back. So in this video we're going to add the prediction sense. That's a little bit more specific sense, but it's also kind of useful. So what it does, it actually predicts the location of the actor that you requested on based on the location and the velocity and the direction. So if I would have an enemy that would fire at the player, he would have a hard time hitting me if I'm moving because he cannot lead the shots. And the prediction sense actually predicts the movement, so you can lead shots, for example, if you fire line traces or projectiles or things like that. So we're gonna set this up. Open your AI controller and select your perception sense, and we're gonna add the fourth sense over here. So click the little plus sign and scroll down. Now we're going to set this to our prediction sense, and there's really nothing we can configure over here, so we can't do anything in here. That's fine, we added it, it's good to go. So I'm going to disconnect my on target perception updated event for now, so the zombie is not going to run around and it's a bit easier for us to test. And first I'm going to open my zombie character and make sure he's going to fire at us. So I'm going to create a new function and call this fire loop, or a custom event, and that's called fire loop. And from here, first I'm going to set focus. So the zombie is always facing me, that just looks a bit better. So I'm going to drag in my AI controller and do set focus and set the focus to myself. Sorry, that's not myself because I'm the zombie, so I'm going to set the focus to my enemy, that's the player. So I'm always facing the player now, even if I'm not moving. And now we want to make sure this guy shoots at us, so let's just make him do a line trace. So we're going to add a line trace by channel. And that's gonna start at his own location. So let's just get the actor location from ourselves, actor location, and plug that into the starting position. And we're gonna fire at the enemy, so drag in our enemy player pawn, and I'm gonna get the capsule component, so I'm gonna aim a little bit higher instead of just shooting at the ground. So get capsule component, and then I'm gonna get the world location from that. And I want to create a unit direction vector, so get unit direction vector, and I'm gonna plug it the starting position from the actor location, and the ending position is the capsule world location. After that, I'm going to multiply this vector with an integer, and let's make it something about 100,000, and plug this into our end position. And now I'm going to set this to camera so it can hit us, and we're going to make sure we can see it. So set it draw debug type to for duration. So it's going to be drawn for 5 seconds. That's a bit long, so I'm going to set it to, I think, something about 0.5. And after that, I'm simply gonna make a small loop so he keeps firing at us. So I'm gonna add a delay in here, plug it in here, and go back to the line trace and make him fire every half second, possibly. So let's check it out. Now we do not have any prediction events added, and he's simply gonna fire at our normal location. So we need to call this fire loop. So get to the begin play, or event possessed it is, and we're going to call our fire loop event. And we might want to add a small delay in here just to make sure. So let's wait half a second and then start shooting. So let's see. So there we have him. You see the red line traces, at least I hope you can see him. And they lag behind a little bit. So he's trying to hit us, and the further we are away, the harder it is for him to hit us, and the more he's gonna lag behind. So that's when we're gonna use the prediction sense to make sure that he's gonna lead the shots. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's make a little bit of room over here, and let's get rid of the delay for now. Disconnect this. So first we're going to request a prediction event. So I'm going to right click and call request. Let me see, request pawn prediction. Yes, so request a pawn prediction event. Let's plug this into the execution. So the requester, that's the guy that asks for the prediction. So that's the zombie, that's us. So get a reference to self. And we want to get a prediction from our enemy. So we're going to plug that into our predicted actor. And then we can also specify how far in time we want this prediction to be. So if we set this to half a second, it's going to lead us by half a second, and then we can increase or decrease that. So depending on the distance, you might want to change this. So you might want to add some logic to this as well. But for now, we're going to keep it a static number, and let's say something about 0.5. So he's going to calculate where I am half a second from now, and that's where he's going to shoot. So we have this pawn prediction event requested, and now we need to retrieve it. So I'm going to add a small delay in here and going to plug the world delta seconds in here to make sure that this is actually being executed. And then I'm going to get actor's perception. So get actor's perception. Let's get actor perception probably. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to get this from the component. So I'm going to get my AI controller, and then I'm going to drag off and get AI perception. So I need to get my component first, and then from that AI perception component I can call get actor perception. So just like this. And we want to get the perception from our enemy. So we requested this prediction event on our enemy, so we want to retrieve that. So we're going to plug in the enemy in here. Let's create a bit more room. And now we are going to break this struct that returns, and we get an array of stimulus. So we need to get the correct one from here. So to make sure if we have multiple sends enabled or things like that. So we're going to plug in a for each loop with break. So look for each loop with break. Plug in the execution pin and make sure you plug in the array. So from this array element we can get the sense class to make sure that it's actually our prediction event. So equal to prediction, and get the AI sense prediction class and branch this together. So if this is our prediction stimuli, then that's the one we need. So we're going to break this loop. So plug the true into the break. And that's going to stop the loop and keep the element at this position. So then we can use this, and we're going to continue from the completed pin, and we are going to do our line trace. So let's get the line trace back over here. Plug this into the completed pin and drag off the array element and break the stimuli struct. And now we need to aim at the stimulus location. So we need to change the unit direction vector, and we can simply plug the 2 pin into our location. So we do not need the capsule component location, but we need the stimulus location. Plug that into the 2 pin, and we can keep this the way it is. And now this is only going to fire once, so we're going to add the loop back in to make sure that he fires every half a second. So add a delay. Plug this into the delay node, and then we want to plug this in back to the request pawn prediction event and set the delay to half a second. And now this should give us a prediction event with a location, and it should go leading the shots. So you can see instead of the previous time where it lagged behind, right now if I'm moving it actually is in front of me. So he's leading the shots, and if I enable my gameplay debugger, you can see the prediction event is a gray. So if I start walking forward, you can see the gray circle appears in front of me every half a second. So that's when he requests the prediction event. and that's where he's going to fire his line trace or projectile. So if I would go back in here and I would bump this prediction time up to something like 2 seconds, then he's going to lead his shots way further. So again, you can see right now the trace is way in front of me. And if I enable the gameplay debugger, you can see the dot is also way further in front of me. So that's how the prediction sense works, and you can use it probably especially with projectiles, but also with line traces. This could work pretty good, but you would need to make some adjustments according to distance, prediction time, projectile speed, and things like that. So it's a bit more complicated, but also pretty cool. So I hope everything makes sense. Thanks for watching, everybody. Next video I'll probably tackle the environmental query system, so that's also a pretty cool one. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked the video or you think you might have learned something, please consider leaving a like. I'll be back for more.